Okay guys, the next one will be Cramer's rule. We are going to try to solve the system of linear equation by using Cramer's rule. It is actually the kind of rule that is quite, how can I say it, safer to be used compared to the first three that we've learned before, because it is quite structured, if I can say. It has one fixed formula for you to be used and to obtain the value of x1, x2 and so on, right? As you can see, this is Cramer rules, okay, and it is actually for 2 by 2 and 3 by 3, right? If it is more than that, it will be quite harder for us to calculate, because this rule determines on the value of determinant. Okay, so the formula is actually this. To find any x, we are going to divide between two determinants. So the determinant in the denominator here is actually the determinant that we have learned before, right? We have learned how to calculate for determinant, right? So that is d here in the denominator. As a numerator, we'll see that it is the notation is di, right? In other words, it is actually known as a modified determinant, di. So what is actually being modified here, right? So just refer to this general form of Cramer rules. Okay, so given that this system, okay, first in Cramer's rule, we are going to find the determinant. Now, of course, we are going to make sure that the determinant should not be equal to 0, right? Because if it is equal to 0, we can't really calculate for x1, x2, x3. Okay, so we are going to use the methods of finding determinant on the previous subtopics, and then we'll find the determinant, and this value later will be served as the denominator. After that, as for the modified determinant, right, we are going to modify it by changing the column. We are going to change the column according to the x that we want to, the value of x that we want to find. Okay, so for example, if we want to look for x1, we are going to change the elements, the original elements of this matrix, right, to B. So we are going to, instead of A11, A21 and A31, we are going to substitute B1, B2, B3 into it as our first column, right? Hence we are, and after that we are going to calculate determinant as usual and then divide it with the original determinant, and we will get the x1. The same goes for x2 and x3, where as you can see here, for x2 they change it at this column, the column of x2. As for x3, they change the element at the column of x3 into B, right? So that is how Cramer's rule being done. They actually dividing between modified determinant with the original determinant, and the modified determinant is actually the elements being changed based on the x that we want to look at, right? So that is actually the way to conduct Cramer's rule. As you can see, it is quite structured, and you don't need to do several steps. So people usually prefer to use this method when they encounter with 2 by 2 or 3 by 3 matrix. If they encounter with higher order matrix, then usually they will go for Gauss-Jordan or Gaussian elimination, because when it comes to higher order, Cramer's rule later will give you a kind of headaches also, because you'll need to find the determinant of higher order. Okay, so let's see on how to solve it. let's try to do exercise 2.21 number 2. So as usual, I'm going to input my metric based on this linear equation. Okay, so this is the metric and this is the B part, right, which is B1, B2, B3 here, 102. Alright, so as I mentioned before, among the component in Cramer's rule is its determinant. So I already calculate the determinant for this metric and I get 14. Okay, so first of all, it is not equal to 0, so we are good to go. As for the second thing, we are going to apply the formula of Cramer's rule, which is xi equal to the division of di. This is the modified determinant, right, over this determinant. Okay, so basically we have already obtained the original determinant, which is 14, so everything later will be divided with 14. So let us now find the modified determinant for we have x1, x2 and x3 here, right? x1, x2 and x3, so we're going to have 3x with 3 calculation of Cramer's rule later. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so this is the calculation, but before that, let me, I want to correct something. Previously I did realize that I made a mistake in transforming from the linear equation into matrix. So try to be careful with that. Previously I did put this one, I put it 3, hence when I make a calculation of D I get 14, but it's actually 1, right? So see, 1, I just make a silly mistake there, I put it 3, so it's actually 1 and our original determinant should be 10. Okay, so let's see how is the process of calculating x1, x2, x3 by obtaining it by using Cramer's rule. So as you can see here, this is a formula, general formula, and this is for x1. Now what I did is just I copy back the value of D, which is 10, and as for the numerator, I will input a modified matrix which later will produce a modified determinant. So as you can see, this is for x1, so this is where x1 should be. So I input, so the original is -1, 2, 3. I input B into that column, calculate for the determinant. I'll get 8 over 10 and later simplify to 4 over 5. And for x2, I did the same thing. I just changed the middle part of the original metric because this is x2. So instead of x102 here, now it become here, and this back to the original metric, -1 to 3. Right, so I calculate for the determinant, the modified determinant, and I'll get -15 over with the determinant of 10 and simplify it to -3 over 2. And lastly, x3, okay, this is, as you can guess, this is where it should be, 102, and then I'll calculate for the determinant, modified determinant, 16, -16 to be accurate. So -16 over 10, simplify it to -8 over 5. So that is actually Cramer's rule. Okay, that is how you calculate for Cramer's rule. Thank you.